Ain't it great that the pigskin's flying again? Welcome into the bunker of General Gridiron, Phil Marshall of football forecasting. We're about to map out the way this college football weekend is gonna go. Will your favorite team be marching to victory, or will the enemy be taking your battle flag? Indeed, college football's opening weekend was chock full of excitement, with surprising losses, big-time comebacks, see UCLA and Tennessee, and a whole lot more. Ready for week 2? If so, grab your helmet and man those battle stations. We're ready for another round of General Gridiron's football foretelling. Auburn at Clemson. The Deep South ticker tussle will hold its latest pillow fight along the scenic shores of Lake Hartwell. The South Carolina Kitties want to continue their recent dominance over their East Alabama kinsmen. Dabo's got the Paul people at a fever pitch, and with performances like last week's blowout over Kent State, new QB Kelly Bryant will have the Orange faithful forgetting about old number 4 in no time. Can the Plainsmen Pussycats show their might and pull off the road win? No, Albee will run out of lives. The Generals victor, Clemson. Iowa at Iowa State. It ain't quite Florida State or Alabama Auburn, but when these two Midwest mammoths clash in Ames, not many will remember the first time these two got together. October 1st, 1894. College football's craziest named hardware will be up for grabs, the Cy-Hawk Trophy, whose genesis stems from a hybrid of ISU's Cy the Cardinal mascot and UI's Herky the Hawk. The Big Ten competitor rides in after compiling 8 victories last season, but the old saying is, you can throw the record books out in this one, and that's just what you need to do. The Generals victor, the Big 12's Iowa State. TCU at Arkansas. The Texas Toad will hop on over to the Ozarks looking to relive the glory days of the old Southwest Conference. Unfortunately for the Amphibians, Coach Gary Patterson's visor's been a little crooked as his boys have missed the mark following Trevon Boykin's upload to the Seahawks. Both the Christians and the Fayetteville Porkers manhandled HBCU opponents in the opening week, so it's a little fuzzy as to just what's in play at Razorback Stadium. Can Super Frog notch the W, or will the Pigs squash TCU's dreams? The envelope, please. The answer? The Generals victor, Arkansas. Pittsburgh at Penn State. The 98th meeting of these Keystone State enemies features PSU signal caller Trace McSorley in firm control of the Beaver Stadium bunch. Unfortunately for number 9, last year's game in Pittsburgh was a thing of horrors as his last-minute interception sealed a 42-39 win for Tony Dorsett U. This feline frenzy will shake Centre County as the Steel City bunch are trying to prove they are much better than last week's OT escape over FCS foe Youngstown State. For Pitt's sake, Narduzzi and his gnarly Gritters will keep a win streak against their rival intact. The Generals victor, Pittsburgh. Georgia at Notre Dame. Hard to believe, but these college football superpowers have only met once, and that was the Sugar Bowl, where a freshman running back named Herschel and QB Ballou guided the Dixie Dogs to the 1980 National Championship in front of President Jimmy Carter. A lot has changed since the Carter presidency, except Uga has yet to put his paws on the natty again. Georgia native Keith Jackson did the play-by-play during the first meeting, and although he won't be on the call Saturday under the shadows of Touchdown Jesus, when it's over, the red and black attack will be partying like it's 1980 all over again. The Generals victor, Georgia. Whoa, Nelly. Still to come on this week's college football forecast, the Middies are battening down the hatches for a Green Wave assault on Annapolis. And Goliath's Ohio State and Oklahoma get together in front of 110,000. Keep it here. General Gridiron will be right back.
Because you want more flavor, at Nuke's we marinate and grill to perfection. Because you want the latest culinary tastes and trends, we never rest. At Nuke's, great food drives us. So we are meticulous in our preparation, obsessed with the quality of our ingredients, and uncompromising about serving you our very best. We believe that sharing a memorable meal is one of life's ultimate pleasures. Join us at Nuke's Eatery.
Howdy, soldiers. This is General Gridiron back with you. Each week, this fabulous football forecast is heard on some of the finest radio stations all over Pigskin Paradise. including the legendary WLIL-FM 102.7 and AM 730 in Lenoir City, Tennessee, the radio home of the Lenoir City Panthers. And KBYO-FM 92.7 Fun Radio in Monroe, Louisiana. Or is it Louisiana Monroe? We appreciate all of our radio affiliates. Now, let's get back into the football fight. Mississippi State at Louisiana Tech. Sylvester Croom took a bunch of bullies to Ruston back in 2008, and they left North Louisiana with their tails between the legs. I'm a little surprised this mighty SEC school perched high atop the Golden Triangle would even venture back to Joliet Stadium. The Louisiana breed of Bulldogs have had this date circled in the kennel for a long time, as that win 10 years back is starting to get a little rusty in Ruston. Skip Holtz is in his 5th season at La Tech, and he's riding the tailwind of 3 straight 9-win seasons and bowl victories. Victory shots will be served everywhere in the Sundown Tavern. The Generals victor, Louisiana Tech. Tulane at Navy. The Greenies splash into Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium for the chance to get a W in their first American Athletic Conference contest of the season. With only 2 bowl appearances in the 21st century, Willie Fritz knows what's at stake as he guides the New Orleans school for a 2nd season. But the U.S. Naval Academy doesn't teach sympathy, and these midshipmen will get their marching orders to sail full steam ahead and make the Green Wave seem more like a chartreuse puddle. The Generals victor, Navy. Nebraska at Oregon. This is an interesting matchup of Power 5 programs that aren't afraid to tee it up on the other's home turf. Last year, Big Red got a late touchdown scamper from QB Tommy Armstrong Jr. to get the dramatic win atop Tom Osborne Field. The Duckies had to fly all the way back to Eugene and stew about the loss in corn country. Now, they're ready to show former Oregon State coach and now NU skipper Mike Riley that what happened in Lincoln stays in Lincoln, and the Oregon Duck will quack the corn. The Generals victor, Oregon. South Carolina at Missouri. The Battle of the Columbias will hold its latest reenactment at Truman's house. The Show-Me's have been a little shell-shocked after the campus unrest and football frustration the past few years. Meanwhile, riding high after a big win over NC State last week, the Columbia SC Poultry Factory is strutting mighty high. There's a pretty good QB wide receiver tandem in Caroline, and if you're fortunate enough to see this Faroe Field fight, you'll come away a Jake Bentley believer. The Generals victor, South Carolina. Oklahoma at Ohio State. Boomer Sooner and their coach that just got his learner's permit ride into the Horseshoe for a chance to get their license to drive back to college football greatness. At 34, Lincoln Riley inherits a dang good OU squad that should be contenders in the Big 12. But OU ain't OSU, and 53-year-old Urban Meyer, whose health woes led him out of Gainesville, will prove that he's still years away from collecting a Social Security check. But the Sooners just may need to go on disability after this one. The Generals victor, Ohio State. We've already looked at the weekend's biggest battles across the nation, but we're not done. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up this week's General Gridiron with our rapid-fire picks. This is General Gridiron back with you. We've already maneuvered through this weekend's frontline college football showdowns. Now, it's time to fix bayonets and storm the field with our rapid-fire football forecast. USC outsmarts Stanford. Michigan manhandles Cincinnati. West Virginia wallops East Carolina. Kentucky beats Eastern Kentucky. Boise State bests Washington State. Utah air raids BYU. Louisville flies past North Carolina. Northwestern scratches Duke. USF skewers Connecticut. Boston College beans Wake Forest. Virginia Tech vexes Delaware. Alabama annihilates Fresno State. Indiana wins at Virginia. Miami blows past Arkansas State. UCLA doesn't have to have a miracle comeback against Hawaii. New Mexico enchants New Mexico State. Rice runs past UTEP. Wisconsin jumps around FAU. Minnesota bites Oregon State. And Arizona sneaks by Houston. Well, troops, you can now put your swords back in their scabbards. We're all out of picks on this Week 2 edition of General Gridiron. We'll be back again next week. Same General Gridiron time, same General Gridiron station. So don't forget to tune us in on the radio, Facebook, and YouTube TV. And please don't forget to tell your friends all about the show. Simply search for General Gridiron. This is John Rawl, the General of Gridiron Glory, thanking you for listening. General Gridiron is a production of CRM Sports. For more, log on to crmsports.com.
That'll be all.